I just saw this post on Facebook of someone who has been holding Cardano for about 5 years. His Cardano is now worth about $6.9 million. He was trying to swap this Cardano into USDA, but he ended up losing 90% of his coins because he got only about 849,000 USDA simply because he did the swap in a tiny liquidity pool. And this got me wondering, if I have about $6.9 million worth of a coin and I'm trying to swap it into another token, shouldn't I get the equivalent, or at least if gas fee is going to be charged, shouldn't it be just a little bit less? Why will I lose 90% of my coin? So what exactly happened? Why did this trader ended up losing 90% of his coin? The loss that he incurred, who are the benefactors? Because definitely the money did not just disappear into thin air. So who are those that benefited from it, and what can you do to avoid such loss in the space? And just in case, if you want to go through the full post, this is it on my screen here. You can pause the video and go through it, but I'm going to tell you what exactly the trader did wrong in this video and what you can do so that you do not fall into such loss. Two key things you need to take note of in this video is liquidity pool and automated market makers. When doing transactions on a decentralized exchange, there is something called automated market maker, which plays a key role. For centralized exchanges like Bybit, Binance, and the likes, they function on order book. And I think I'm going to be making a whole dedicated video explaining this concept, but for the sake of the length of this video, let's stick with automated market maker. So automated market maker is just a smart contract that determines or sets the price of tokens using a mathematical formula. And for most automated market makers that these decentralized exchanges function on, they use this mathematical formula you're seeing on my screen here. So to perfectly understand what happened to this trader, let's use this analogy. Now, imagine you bring a bucket or a container. This bucket is called the liquidity pool. You now put two different types of sweets into this bucket. The first sweet is 50 blue sweets, and the second sweet is 50 red sweets. So these sweets inside the bucket are the tokens, while the bucket itself is the liquidity pool. The people that put these blue sweets and red sweets inside this bucket, they are called liquidity providers. And this bucket called the liquidity pool functions on a simple rule. The rule is that for you to take red sweets, you need to give blue sweets. And for you to take blue sweets, you need to give red sweets. So let's say, for instance, I want about 5 red sweets. I should give an equivalent, maybe 5 blue sweets, or depending on the price, if blue sweets cost higher than red sweets, that simply means I'll be giving lesser amount of blue sweets to get higher amount of red sweets. I cannot use any other coin to purchase any of these tokens. If I have USDT, I have to convert my USDT into blue sweets so that I can take red sweets, or into red sweets so that I can take blue sweets. In the case of this trader, the blue sweet is Cardano, while the red sweet is USDA. So the trader wants USDA, which is the red sweet. Inside this bucket, remember, we have only about 50 red sweets. And the trader has about 1,000 or 2,000 blue sweets. Just basically, he has a large amount of blue sweets. So this is blue sweets now. He wants to put it inside this bucket. After putting it in the bucket, he will now take out red sweet. But the problem is that the red sweet is too small. There are only 50 amount of red sweets. So this red sweet cannot cover exactly the equivalent of his blue sweets. And this bucket called the liquidity pool has another rule again. The rule is that you can take as much tokens as you want, but you cannot exhaust it. You cannot take all of the tokens, or you cannot take beyond a certain amount. Let's say, for instance, there are 50 red sweets. You can take, let's say, up to 30, but you cannot take all of them. You cannot take more than 30 because there still has to be some left in this bucket. Since the trader has about 1,000 blue sweets, he wants to dump it inside the bucket so that he can take red sweets. But the bucket does not have enough amount of red sweets to give to him. He is now forcing the bucket to give him, because let's say if the bucket is supposed to give him red sweets, the bucket should give him something like maybe 3,000 red sweets, since the blue sweet cost higher than the red sweet. So the bucket is supposed to give him maybe something like 3,000 or 5,000 red sweets. But the bucket has only 50 red sweets. But he is now forcing the bucket to give it what he does not have. So what the bucket does automatically is when something comes in play, and that thing is called the automated market maker. So if the red sweet was, let's say, formerly worth $1, the automated market maker now comes into the picture and increase the price of the red sweet from $1 to maybe something like $10 per token, or $50 or $100. It makes the price higher. So the trader is now using his blue sweet to buy the red sweet at a higher rate, since he's trying to force the market to give him what the market does not have. So that is what happened to the trader. He put his $6.9 million worth of Cardano into the bucket and ended up getting something not up to value. He got about 849,000 USDA. Let's say he got a lesser amount of sweet because the market sold it to him at a higher rate, and now it is not what his original price. But those extra sweets that he deposited into the bucket, that is his remaining money, did not just go into thin air. This is where the liquidity providers comes in play. So those that put the red sweet and the blue sweet into the bucket, they are the ones that are going to benefit from this. So one thing you should note again is that one way to make money in the Web3 space is becoming a liquidity provider. Let me know if you need me to make a full tutorial video on how to go about this, and maybe if you want to become a liquidity provider or whatsoever. So that is one of the ways you get to make money from it. They are the ones that now majorly benefited from this is loss. So this is what the automated market maker did to him. He was trying to swap a large amount of token in a tiny liquidity pool, and the market cannot give what it does not have. So the market has to sell for him at a higher rate, and at the end of the day, he lost. The DEX also prioritizes liquidity providers, and so they end up benefiting. And that is basically it. Go and start for Tony's Tech on X. Follow me there. That's where I do drop most of my updates, even before I make videos on them.